welcome to the July newsletter. It's me, your local, maybe not so local, but still local in a global sense, Luka, coming in your inbox. Glad to be joining you for this little missive. I like to send these out at the start of every month to give you a lowdown on what I'm seeing, what's happening behind the scenes, and what is going on at Good Food and you, in case there's content that would be of interest to you. So first, thanks, pal. Glad that you're opening this video and watching it. Yeah, okay, I do nutrition, you know this. I've been doing it for 10 years. And today I wanted to, I have some things that I'm seeing that I thought would be really curious to share with other people. I did a short video about this on my Instagram, I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. And then I uploaded it to YouTube as well. And I'll link to it below, just below where you're seeing the write-up for this video. Where I'm talking about this idea of flow and how for some people, the whole concept of flow can actually potentially be scary as well. So that's one piece that I've noticed, but now I'm kind of going to like step two and sitting with it and observing and seeing what it is that I'm seeing and trying to draw conclusions, because God, if that's not the work of being a human, right? So I want to tell you what I'm seeing and noticing lately in my conversations with clients, with people who are taking classes, and with friends as well. So, and what I'm seeing, yeah, in so many different areas of my life. I don't know if you're like this too, where you see themes. At points in your life, you kind of have an overarching theme. The same conversation from different people is coming to you. And if you're paying attention, I think sometimes there are some nuggets and some gems to be uncovered if you can allow yourself enough time to sit back and not jump in to offer solutions and come up with the to-do list, right? If you can actually just sit in curiosity with something. So I wanted to share with you what it is that I'm noticing lately as that kind of recurring pattern in my conversations with people. And it's this, like, it's wild to me because now I'm also hearing other practitioners talk about it on their social media handles. And I'm like, oh my God, me too. Like I actively noticed it 2, 3 weeks ago, and now there's like 5 people talking about it, people that I really respect as colleagues. But more and more people that I'm talking to with clients, this is what I'm noticing. They're coming to me, and you know, like 90% of the people that I support have histamine issues. And histamine issues to me are quite convoluted and very different from one person to the next. But it's essentially a body that is overwhelmed and is sounding the alarm on something because the body doesn't feel safe. And typically what happens in somebody who's got histamine issues, my colleague Tracy, who's my sidekick over at Histamine Haven, we are each other's sidekicks. We talk about this a lot, that we see this pattern in the person who's got histamine or potentially mast cell activation involvement somewhere, that it's the person who keeps looking for the answer to their questions. And they're doggedly pursuing somebody to tell them what's going on. They're doggedly looking for solutions, for the answers, for an explanation, and for a what the bleep is going on kind of answer in their body. And they want to understand it, and I get it, totally get it, because I absolutely was the same. Yeah, past tense was. And there seems to be sort of this wave. There is a wave of that. And in that wave comes the, I'll do my own research because nobody can help me. And that's a theme that I hear a lot from those I work with. Well, I'm just not getting the answers I'm looking for, and I need someone to give me the answers. And that's the commonality that I would have said 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when we were putting together everything that we do at Histamine Haven. We have quite a bit of things that are disponible. How would you say that in English? Available for people in terms of supports. And brilliant. So much work went into that. But what I'm now seeing is that's not where it ends. Seeking the answers is not where it ends. There's like more to it beyond that. Because what I'm seeing right now is just a so clear to me in these conversations I'm having with people who are booking in for discovery calls or in conversations after classes are saying they're kind of piling on the to-dos. Okay, well, I'm eating clean. First of all, when someone uses the word eat clean, my alarm bells go off. First of all, I think eating clean is so deeply rooted in a way of looking at the world that I invite us to actually let go of. Food is just food. You cannot assign virtue to the food. And if you do, you are doing your system a disservice as it comes into your mouth. It's just food. Anyway, it's a talk for another day, a rant for another day. But I'm seeing this in clients, right? They're in their words. I'm eating clean. I'm doing my 6 supplements. Somebody last night was like, it's 6 supplements. It's a lot. Somebody last week, I'm taking 22 supplements over the course of the day. I'm like, that is a lot. Somebody else, well, I'm doing this round of things and it's 30 supplements that I have to take. And it's just so overwhelming. Or I'm restricting. I'm already doing this. I'm doing all the things, more lab tests, more pressure all the time, building these restraints and doing this with their approach. Because if I just get it narrow enough, then I'm going to feel good. And the symptoms are still there. In some cases, they're actually ramping up. Does this approach work? I don't know. That's my question, actually. And I can't answer that because I think it will be a different answer for each person. And I think for some it might. For others, it may work for a short time and then new stuff crops up. And then I think some will say, oh, no, that doesn't sit well with me. I want to let all of that go. So I've been seeing this crop up for clients quite a bit. Recent conversations like, what if, this is going to be my question to you, what if relief doesn't come from doing more, but actually comes from doing less? What if this is actually your moment to simplify? And that's just such a hard question to ask when you, and I'm putting myself in the shoes of those that I serve. When you're told to do all of these things, to go low histamine or to have an anti-inflammatory diet or to cook, even cook your own food at home, or heck, even just to make a pot of meat stock, the resistance that comes from clients that I'm serving, like even having 2-hour conversations to try to convince someone to make a pot of meat stock. I don't want to do that. I really actually don't want to do that because it's not serving anybody and it's not serving me for sure. It's certainly not serving the person I'm talking to because it's just going back to, well, here's the to-do list and just do those things. And if you do these check mark things that I gave you, your personalized list that is the same list that everybody gets, you will feel better. And they somewhere deep inside them know that if they follow that list, they won't necessarily feel better. And that's part of the resistance, which I admire. So I love the resistance and I love when people question things and when people come at it. And I want to honor all of that piece. I talk about it in the link below to a little 8-minute clip I did on flow last week, 2 weeks ago. But this is what I'm seeing then. This is my question to take that thought a little bit further. What if this is actually your moment to simplify? This is the season to pare down, to stop throwing more inputs into an already overwhelmed system. Yeah? Because that's what's going on when the body has symptoms like inflammation or histamine or other things on the go. It's a system that is overwhelmed and trying to mount a protective detail. If we throw more things at it, is it going to get better? You can certainly try it. Absolutely. Yeah, go for it. And if you find relief for 2 years, 3 years, and then symptoms start coming back, oh, hi, welcome. We're all in this together because I am at that crux in my life. I don't want to do the restrictive things. I've never been the person who wants to do the restrictive stuff. I wrote a book on eating low histamine, and pals, newsflash, I do not eat low histamine, and I have histamine issues. And my symptoms are a lot less than what they used to be. So it's not, I'm not giving you an answer, and I'm not giving you a protocol. I'm simply stating facts. And I challenge with that a little bit. I challenge with it because I feel like I'm supposed to present what it is people want. And what I'm realizing is I can't do that and be okay with it. That's not genuine. That's not who I am. That's not intrinsic. Like, that's not me. So if I take a step back from there and I sit with that a little bit longer to see what's going on, what if it's actually about simplifying and paring things down? What if that's actually what is requested right now? I'm not saying toss away your medication. I'm not saying toss away your supplements. I'm not saying eat whatever you want and go out for takeout all the time and you won't have symptoms. Oh, I know full well that if you are sensitive to foods and you go to eat real crap foods, then your symptoms will ramp up for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But what if you were to work at paring things down? How could you do it? So I have a challenge if for those who are like, oh, I'm curious about this, and it's resonating with a deep yes in your body. Like you understand the yes and no answers in your body when you're sitting with a question, when you're faced with something where you're like, oh, tell me more, Luka. If that's the kind of reaction you've had to all the jibber jabber I've just shared, I have an invitation for you. Yeah, you can call it a challenge if you want to. I still feel like this is not necessarily the direction I want to go in for my life's work. But it's an invitation nonetheless because it's a brief moment in time and we're not going to stay there. Anyway, this is what I'm going to propose to you. Pick one time in your day to create calm. Just one. And I'm going to invite you to do this on a regular basis to kind of bring this into your day to day. Pick one time in your day to create calm. So, for most of us, I think one of the easiest places might be in that last time just before bed, because all the tasks are done, all of what needed to be done for the day is, the dishes are done, and everybody's in bed, and everybody's got what they need. The shops are closed. There's nothing else on your to-do list. I'm not saying you need to overhaul your whole evening. I'm just requesting, what if you chose one simple thing, maybe two if you wanted to, and this is in the interest of actually calming your nervous system and kind of giving your body a break to have that exhale. And sleep is not the exhale. I mean, sleep, if you can get good sleep, is an exhale. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people I work with, sleep is not an exhale, and it adds to the stress because they're struggling with it. I gotcha. But what could this creating calm look like for you? And you're going to come up with your own list. You don't have to write anything down. You can really just sit with this. Think about it when you're on the tram on the way to work. Think about this when you're in the shower, if you want. Make yourself a cup of tea and go sit on the back deck and listen to the birds while you're thinking, geez, what do I like about creating calm? Oh, I like to listen to birds. Oh, I like to make a cup of tea. Oh, I like to zone out on the tram on the way to work. Oh, right? You'll come up with that list of what that looks like. But I'll give you some ideas in case you need some to get you started. But I only want you to take these on if they really resonate in your body as a yes, as a full body yes. So, obvious ones, can you put your phone away early? Can you make a cup of chamomile tea if you're not the person who goes to pee all night? Could you, we came up with this one yesterday with another client. She has a racing mind at night. And there's inputs from our environment that can drive some of that. So for her, we said, okay, what if you turn off all overhead lights and you only have tabletop lights, like desk lamps or like when if you're knitting or doing crafts or something, you might have a small lamp next to you, but you turn off the overhead lights and you go to just tabletop lamps instead. Dimming the lights can work the same way. Could you do a brain dump on paper? Could you do journaling? Could you do, might you stretch? Might you do yoga? Would you meditate? Would you listen to music? Would you play an instrument? Would you maybe have a time for prayer or reading scripture? Whatever it is, it has to be your own list. You have to create your own, or you have to build your own create calm menu. Yeah? I want you to build a create calm menu. Here I am adding more things to your life. But adding this one thing is actually the reverse. You're actually taking things away. Like you are doing something that's gonna be almost nothing in the interest of actually simplifying the inputs coming into your system. So practice just one of those things from that list at the same time every night, or if you're choosing to do it in the morning at the same time every morning. Repetition is actually where this magic happens. So, and this is all like, you might be wondering, as if, Luka, I thought you worked in nutrition. Shouldn't I be eating beets? Shouldn't I be adding butter to all the things? What about the meat stock? Ah, those are all really, really great choices to nourish yourself because, goddamn, if we don't have to eat every day. Yeah, for sure. But also, ugh, it's summer. I just don't want to cook. But why I'm bringing this up, in a body that is overwhelmed, a body will throw out things to try to mount a response. And when that goes on for too long and we are not changing the what's going on in our environment and what's going into our system, then this your system will mount a more bigger alarm. That's grammatically incorrect, but you know what I mean. It's going to ramp up the alarm system, if you will. So we need to actually simplify the inputs going into your system. And this is through this whole, like the method to the madness here is tied to what I'm always on about, that burden of stress. Yeah. So the burden of stress, everybody's got a personal burden of stress, and yours is different from the person next to you. And it's made up of three levels: external stress, things we cannot control; internal stress, this is where like inflammation, blood sugar spikes, digestive issues, thyroid troubles, histamine issues, whatever you've got. If you've been exposed to mold, if that's your trigger, if you have, right, like any kind of internal stuff not working well. Metabolic health not working actually is a biggest driver of that internal stress going up and up and up. And then there's emotional stress is the third layer to this, and that's anything to do with relationships, your mental load, the people stuff, the big feelings, the histories that we all carry, right? There's external, internal, emotional. All of these three add up to what I call the burden of stress. And everybody's personal burden of stress is different. So, what does this have to do with all of this? Well, when you focus on the internal burden of stress, that's where the work that I do comes in. And that internal burden of stress, and I will help give you supports for the emotional burden of stress. I cannot keep your job for you. I would totally advocate for you if that's the external stress that is adding to your personal burden. But I can help with the inside stuff. And when you focus on the internal burden of stress, not in a flashy, complicated way, but doing it through daily rhythms of things, gentle nourishment, those touchstones that are like just a part of how you cook. And it is a return to slow food, correct? Yeah, there's just not that many shortcuts, except that we live in 2025. And for many of my clients, making homemade meat stock is a pain in the tush. They tolerate just fine the good stuff they get at the health food store. So, there's a shortcut for you. But food and the things we do to address the internal things not working well, key amongst them, metabolic health. When you start to address metabolic health, this is actually one of the ways to help reduce your overall burden of stress. So this summer in the network, that's everything we're going to be talking about. In my Good Food Network, it's the subscription service that I run. So if you're curious to learn more about metabolic health, about simplifying things, we're not talking about any supplements. We are talking about what are going to be those touchstones that are super unsexy things to do, and how are we going to clear the clutter, get rid of excess stuff, and just simplify. We're going to do it through the lens of supporting metabolic health. So for anybody who's curious to learn a little bit more about that, and how would you, like, who's the person who needs it? Well, are you a human? And are you stressed? Do you have chronic health stuff? You would benefit from it. If you're overwhelmed and you have brain fog, you may not do well to come join us in the Good Food Network. If you have a lot on your plate and you're not willing to simplify how full your life is, okay, then don't come and join us in the network, I guess. But this is what we're doing in the Good Food Network. So this is like, I'll give you a little bit of an overview of the things we're going to be talking about. We have a whole session where we're going to be going into Metabolism 101. We're going to talk about the thyroid's role in metabolism, inflammation as a metabolic brake. We'll talk about the liver's role in metabolism and supporting metabolism as that the root of resilient aging. These are some of the main sessions. We do one live session a week. That's what's going to be in the Good Food Network this summer, just in July. So if this idea of slowing down and decluttering and simplifying resonates with you, if you are curious about how to support your metabolism without having to turn up the hustle, you should probably come join us. It's amazing to me how much when we address metabolism for clients, we actually turn off what's driving histamine in particular. Yeah. So, I'll give you two levels in. So the Good Food Network will have all of these sessions I just name checked. But I'm doing another session that if you're in the network, you get access to, but you can also just take this one session if you want. And that one session is going to be wrapped up in a 2-hour class that's going to be called SOS Metabolism. So it's the introduction to what is metabolism and what are some of those ways that we can now do the super unsexy day-to-day things at simplifying, at taking a break from stuff, at like decluttering how you move through your days. That's going to happen mid-month on the Wednesday, the 16th. There's a replay that goes out to everyone. So I'm going to tell you below where this video is housed, there's going to be 3 links. The first one is to that talk on flow I did last week, 2 weeks ago. The second one is going to be for the Good Food Network, if you want to come join us for the sessions. And if you just want that one class by itself and you don't want anything else, you just want that intro piece, come and join us for SOS Metabolism. That's going to be your third link. And both options, the network and this standalone class, are really lovely ways to step into this conversation. So until then, let me reiterate. Pick your calm moment. Build your creating calm menu of items. Come up with that list first. And know that you don't always have to be reinventing the wheel. Repetition and consistency is the most underutilized tool of simplifying your life and simplifying the mental load of all of this. Enough with the do you know, did you know, did you know, did you know? Ugh. Do this, let go of what doesn't serve you. Those are the kinds of things we're doing. And listen, if you have any questions about this, know that you can always get in touch and start with just commenting below and I'll get back to you. In the meantime, may July be good to you. May you have some good time in a hammock or on the beach on your near horizon. My sweetie and I are going to be doing a wee jaunt through the Normandy and Brittany coast, the coastline in France, the northern coast. And we're going to be having a really great, simplified, unproductive delight of a time. May you have summer vacation in your days ahead, whether it is self-imposed or whatever's going on in your life. I look forward to crossing paths with you somewhere down the line. Take care. Salut et à bientôt.